Hey, folks, I'm back. Time to give you an update on the Blood Bowl League and some of the swag that I've been given, things I've bought, and things I've made.
You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
I had to get my cup of coffee this morning to get ready, but I wanted to give you an update before my day started on how I'm doing with the league. So I'm at the end of week 4 of my league, and I'm currently sitting at a record of 1 win, 1 loss, and 2 ties. Really liking my Dwarves in the sense that they're bashy and they've been having fun creating casualties for the other team. In my second game, I got to play against Will Clay, and he plays a Vampires team. That game was actually a tie, so it was my second game. I tied that game, and it really did come down to him failing a lot of his rolls for his Vampires. I don't recall the mechanism for the Vampires, but they have to roll at the start of the turn, and if they fail the roll, then they must end up adjacent to a thrall, and they attack that thrall, or they suck the vampire blood from the thrall and potentially injure the thrall. I'll tell you what, Will failed like 80% of those rolls and was knocking out his own thralls. So that really helped me in not having to worry about knocking him out because he was taking care of himself. In my third game, I got to play against Michael Fortino. He had the Dark Elves. This was a tie game again. He failed a lot of his pickup rolls, but I did a lot of casualties up front and early. And I'm finding that if you can get a casualty up front and early on a couple of players, that's big. That really does help in keeping your game moving and preventing them from doing what they want to do the rest of the game. In game 4, I got to play against Old Man Monkey James Lanier, and he brought his lizards. This was a win for me. It was my first win. So here I am, game 4 of the league. Probably my 5th game of Blood Bowl ever, tabletop version, and I got my first win. It was a 2-1 win, and it happened because Jim didn't see where my blitzer was set up. He put the ball in the corner on his side of the field, so my touchdown side of the field. But my blitzer was able to run up to the ball, and because I gave him sure hands, pick up the ball, and he went for it twice, scored the touchdown. That's what gave me that second touchdown, which was what allowed me to win that game. A lot of casualties were in that game as well. Really having fun with how bashy my Dwarves are. I did end up picking a name for my team. Based on some of the feedback in the comments, I'm going to go with the B and D, so the Beans and Dice, B and D Brawlers. That's who we're going to be, the B and D Brawlers. Those are my Dwarves. All right, so now let's talk about some of the swag, some of the stuff that I've been given or I've been making. So like, what I started with was I kept seeing these ball tokens online. So I decided to take some poker chips and make my very own tokens. So I made a ball token that I've been using to carry the ball around with. And I created a feign token. It's got +1 on one side, +2 on the other. I like tokens to remind me of what the situation is. And, played X-Wing, a lot of tokens in that game. And then when I played against James for the first time, Old Man Monkey, he gifted to me this Three Kingdoms dugout. Neoprene stitched all the way around dugout. Really super exciting to get this from James. This is a beautiful, beautiful dugout. It makes it great in the sense of the community, right? To be able to see how the community encourages new players and is so giving to new players. I mean, I played a guy this weekend at a convention I went to from Minnesota, Rich. And Rich gave me, because he runs a tournament up there, gave me these 2 dice, the D6s. And on the D6s are the symbol for what he calls Wonder Armor. That's the name of his tournament up in Minnesota. Wonder Armor dice. So I got some dice from Rich. That's awesome. And I officially joined the NAF. So by joining the NAF, that provided me some dice as well and a NAF coin. So I'm really excited about using these for marking the situations on the board for the coin and getting these dice on the table so people can ask me who the NAF is. Some of the things that I've been buying, I ended up buying the Inducements pack. So it's the card pack with the inducements in them. And the reason I bought it is because of the weather table and the kickoff table are right in here. Having the weather table and the kickoff table right here is pretty cool. I've also picked up dice. Everybody loves dice, right? I love dice. My first set of dice that I bought were the halfling dice. And I bought halfling dice because I'm a big boy. I like to eat. And I love the symbol for the 6 on the die being the fork and the knife. That's pretty cool. So I got me some halfling dice. And my buddy George Velez was out in Clearwater, and they had a sale going on at one of the shops in Clearwater. And he picked up for me a set of Nurgle dice. I really like the red on the green. It's very visible, easy to see the symbols on these dice. I picked up some dice cups from Amazon. When I played against Old Man Monkey, I saw he had a leather dice cup. And I'm a dice cup guy. I enjoy rolling dice, using a dice cup. I feel like I can get more randomness by shaking the dice real hard. So I picked up a pair of those. So when I'm teaching the game, my opponents will have something to play with as well. I ended up buying some dice I found this ad on Facebook for Blood Bowl dice, but they match all the symbols and the colors of the Blood Bowl dice in the Blood Bowl Xbox game. These are great. They're so easy to see what your results are from a distance because of the colors and the symbology. I'm so used to it by playing the online version. So I'm loving these dice. I ended up picking up the coaches pack. So the GW coaches pack. I heard some talk online about erratas and issues with the printing. But for me, the sheet that comes in here, excuse my noise, and the rule book are amazing. The compact rule book, the cheat sheet with all the charts, with the correct, as I'm learning, a correct passing chart that has the 3 and 13 and the 13 and 3 filled in, which apparently the mats that I bought, because I bought 4 mats from Mats by Mars, and those passing charts are missing that 3 and 13 location as a long bomb. So I marked it myself. But I ended up picking up 4 pitches. I picked up a Blood Bowl 11s pitch from Mats by Mars, and then I picked up 3 sevens pitches because I want to be able to teach sevens and run my own mini tournament with my friends because I figure sevens is a quicker, faster game. And then when I played against the guys in the league, I noticed that they all had rubber bands that they used for skills. So I went to go buy a pack, and they really didn't have anything small. So I ended up with this huge baggie of rubber bands that I've been using for skills, and I'm loving it. This is a great way for me as a new player to know, to easily identify what each of my dwarves do, which one has the guard skill that I've added to them, which one has the Hail Mary skill that I've added to them. So these rubber bands I definitely recommend, and I give them away to my opponents as I play them. I love what I also love about the coaches kit was the tokens. So I've got a ton of tokens that I've been able to use for apothecaries, for kegs, for the weather. So again, I'm a fan of tokens as a great way to remind yourself of what the situation in the game is. And then from Broken Token, I picked up these wooden trays that I assembled and stained. But I wanted a better way to carry my figures around as well as store my figures at home while I'm painting them, not having to worry about them tumbling off a table. So I picked up 2 of these Broken Token miniature models carrying trays, and they're $10 each. They came with a overlay that had the base circles cut out, but those were 25 millimeter. They don't really fit the Blood Bowl, the new Blood Bowl models base sizes. So I ended up taking those out. I think I'm going to try to make my own using foam core. So I'll cut out a piece of foam core, fit it in here, and then draw circles to fit these bases and cut out those circles with an X-Acto knife so that I can better carry my miniatures and maybe actually create a display board out of this, turn that board into a pitched-looking surface. So that's some of the swag that I've been in. I'm really excited about Blood Bowl. I've been playing X-Wing for years. I played X-Wing since 2012, did a lot of the tournament circuits, and I'm getting a lot of those same feels from the community, from meeting people. You know, I went to that convention this weekend, and I got to meet a guy from Minnesota who brought down his undead army, and we had a blast just meeting each other, playing Blood Bowl. That community feels strong in Florida, and I'm loving it. I'd like to thank James Luft. He's our Florida Blood Bowl guy, and actually I got this from James. Let me go get it. This giant mug of beer. Well, it will be filled with beer, but it's got Florida Blood Bowl etched onto the glass itself. This was some of the swag that he was giving out. He hosted a tournament this weekend at Armada Games in Temple Terrace for a Blood Bowl tournament. It was sevens. 26 coaches showed up. And it was very unfortunate for me because that was the same weekend that Escape WinterCon was going on in Orlando, Florida. I'd already had my hotel booked, already had my passes, so I wasn't able to join. But I left my mats behind so that they could use them for the tournament because that's my local store. And James brought me this beauty. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous glass. So I'm real excited for Blood Bowl and what it can offer. I mean, I play that game and it leaves me stressed in a good way, challenged mentally. Those are all great features of Blood Bowl. So I'm enjoying this community. I thank you for all the comments that you've put in encouraging me. Continue to give me comments, give me ideas on what to do with these dwarves. What skills should I be adding on to these dwarves as I move forward in this league? We've got, I think, 3 more rounds, and then we move on to the playoffs. So I'll post an updated roster of my team to show you what it looks like, the B&D Brawlers, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
You're listening to the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Really?